Hey guys, it is NCSFan001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list updates. Today's date is Monday, February 13th, 2023. So this will have covered the week of February 6th through the 12th of 2023. This was a reasonably productive week. I'm happy with how things turned out. So I have several different games to talk about this week. First off, Grand Theft Auto 5, we did not end up getting the chance to work on the Criminal Mastermind stuff this weekend. So next weekend is when we're really officially going to give it our first real try and just see how it goes, see if it's something that I'm going to be able to do with this group, or if we're just even going to be able to really do it at all. Because I know that this trophy is absolutely brutal, and more than anything, it's a big part of it for me is the time sink, because I think I'm good enough at the game to be able to get it with a good group. I think the problem is the amount of time and effort it takes, because, it's 7 or 8 hours a run, and everyone has to be hyper-focused the whole time. And just that amount of time and just the letdown that would come from failing it all worries me because I just don't know if I have that kind of time to sink into a game like that. The other game I want to bring up is that Fallout 76 is about to begin Fosnock Day 2023. So if you don't know what that is, it's an event where for a week or two in-game, the Helvetia, or whatever it's called, I probably horribly butchered that name, but it's one of the easier settlements to get to. It comes alive for Fosnock Day, and it's one of the most fun events of the year in the game because everyone's out there just having a good old time, talking to robots, killing mutated enemies, trying to farm unique masks and such they can sell for a good bit of caps to other players. So I'll be participating in that some during this coming week. But in terms of actual trophies earned, I got trophies in 3 different games. And the first one is the Platinum Trophy for SpongeBob SquarePants, the Cosmic Shake. So overall, this is a pretty easy Platinum Trophy, and it takes around, I would say, 10 to 12 hours to obtain. So it's not too time-consuming, but it is a little bit more difficult than Battle for Bikini Bottom just because of a few of the level-specific trophies. So your first few trophies here, everything through here is going to be unmissable story related for finishing the 7 Cosmically Shaken worlds as well as Bikini Bottom, which is the central hub world. So complete all technically 8 worlds and you will get every trophy through here. The baby booms are like the chucks. They basically just throw goo balls at you and you have to hit them back at them. And you kill these things with 2 hits from reflecting their projectiles. This one is fairly easy because there's a burrower that spawns directly across from SpongeBob's pineapple in Bikini Bottom, and he spawns with 2 or 3 enemies around him, so you can very easily just grind out a few kills, then transport to a level and transport back to Bikini Bottom, and you will be able to respawn him then and just get some more progress toward the trophy. It's very easy to get, it just takes a little bit of time. It's not something that's maybe something that you would do normally. The big jellies are the big guys with the bathtubs that take 3 hits to kill, I believe it is. You have to get 25 enemies to die from the attacks from the big jellies. There's several different places you can do this. One decent place is during the, not really boss fight, but the segment where you're taking out the ship that has Admiral Prawn on it in Goo Lagoon. Because at the very end of it, there's a big jelly and there's a jelly maker there. So that's a decent place to do it because the jelly maker will keep spawning enemies so the big jelly can keep killing them. And you can't really do this one in Bikini Bottom because I think there's only one big jelly in Bikini Bottom and he's not in a really good spot to work on this. Catching Mr. Krabs in under 3 minutes is not too difficult, but it's a pretty strict time limit. At absolute best, you can do it in like 2 minutes and 30 to 2 minutes and 40. So there's not a whole lot of room for error. You basically have to do the seahorse part pretty quickly, and then you have to just rush through the part on the train without really stopping to kill a lot of enemies anywhere. The Karate Sandy boss fight is a little bit tough because you have to hit her 3 times without getting hit by anything, and that includes her other attacks because there's this one attack where she will send out these like waves of bodyguards and they'll sweep around the arena twice, and they're pretty tough to avoid because they kind of just run in sort of weird patterns each time. So that's probably the hardest part of the boss fight. There's also several other attacks she has, like she can spawn a big wave of other enemies, but you can mostly just jump around and karate kick them to stun them or kill them, so it's not awful. And then there's also a phase where she turns her wheel like on its side so it floats around the arena and bounces off the walls trying to hit you, so that can be a little bit tough. The Dutchman ship in 5 minutes is very easy. This one, you just rush through it and kill all the enemies on his actual ship. 5 minutes is definitely a bit more generous than the 3 minutes for Mr. Krabs trophy, so nothing much to worry about there. The Gary trophy is probably the hardest trophy in the game overall, just because the fight is not particularly well designed. Basically, you go in and you have to hit 3 different candy vending machines without being seen by Gary's like yellow light beam, because if he sees you, he'll shoot an ice projectile at you that freezes you. The main problem is that sometimes he will spawn it right on top of you during transition areas, like where you're going between 2 different areas where he shines the light at. So like going around corners and such, sometimes he will just spawn it right on top of you and you'll take damage from it then. And even if he sees you and misses his ice attack, that will still count as a failure. Sometimes you can get away with being spotted for like a millisecond and ducking into cover quickly enough, but that doesn't always work. And then along with all of this, for some stupid reason, the game will not let you basically fast travel out to restart the boss fight. If you get spotted, you have to finish the fight and then you can transport back to it and start it again, which is really, really dumb. I don't really know why they felt that that was a necessary choice. That's just honestly feels like it's put there to punish the players. This trophy's not too bad. This is during the prehistoric kelp forest. You can get hit by all of the other attacks, including all the enemies. You just can't get hit by the actual shockwave attacks. This one is actually easier than I thought it was, because you can get hit by the witch's green, like, stun balls, because she'll launch out these green balls that'll chase you around the arena, and if they hit you, they'll stun you, but they don't do damage to you. So as long as you don't get hit by the actual enemies, you're fine, and the enemies in there are finite for each cake. Like, only a certain number of enemies spawn after each cake is delivered, so you can just kill off all the enemies during those different time periods and then deliver the cakes, so this one's not really all that hard. This trophy's very easy. It's in Glove World. Just let Glovey Glove kill 20 enemies during the boss fight, and you will get this trophy. It's very easy. This one is also extremely easy because, in all honesty, Jelly Squidward's attacks, he has other attacks that can be a little bit more dangerous, but the actual tentacles don't really do a whole lot, and the boss fight itself is pretty easy. So this one probably will come naturally for many players. In fact, let's see, 25%. Yeah, so the vast majority of players that have beaten the game have gotten that trophy, so that's good. So then we get to some more enemy-specific trophies. This one is the Jelly Makers. Those are the big, like, globs of goo or jelly or whatever they are that keep spawning new enemies. I would suggest for this one, bubble an enemy and then sort of try to line up your shot and hit them into the Jelly Maker. It's a little bit random as to whether or not it'll actually hit them and do damage. But there are several places where you can farm this. You can do it in Bikini Bottom. You can do it in really a lot of areas because Jelly Makers are a pretty common enemy type. This one is basically unmissable. You're going to get this one just throughout playing the game because the Jelly Maker's roar is going to constantly hit enemies when you come across them. The big jelly with the baby boom, this is very easily done when you're about to enter the castle in the medieval sulfur fields. So right before you enter the castle that leads you into that giant platforming room full of water and beds everywhere, when you get up on the wall after talking to the Bard Squidward area, then there is a big jelly and a baby boom right there together, so it's very easy to get right there. This one's pretty easy. Just find tartar jellies and bubble them as they're shooting. This one is pretty simple. There's plenty of tartar jellies throughout the game, so this one shouldn't cause too many problems. This one I sort of unlocked naturally just by playing through the game, but not a lot of people are going to do it that way. So I'm not really sure what specifically counted as an environmental hazard. Maybe the tikis I'm sure counted. But I sort of got this one naturally while going for the rest of the trophies, but you may have to farm this one a little bit. You get a lot of ninjellies in the Karate Downtown. That's a good place to go for it, and there are several other places where you can go for it. This one's basically unmissable. Just kill any 50 enemies without taking damage from that specific enemy. This one is pretty tough to miss. I don't remember if I got it in Jellyfish Fields or if I got it... I think I got it in Downtown, actually. So just bubble any enemy that has not yet seen SpongeBob. That's pretty simple. This trophy's very easy because the jellies in this game are only used to purchase costumes. They aren't used to open up other parts of levels or anything, like the shiny objects were in Battle for Bikini Bottom. So just hold 10,000 at once. So basically just don't spend any of them until you reach 10,000 and you'll get this trophy easily. Catch 50 jellyfish actually means to defeat 50 jellyfish, so just whack 50 jellyfish that you come across throughout the game and you will get this trophy. There's a lot of them in Bikini Bottom, there's some of them in Jellyfish Fields, of course, and they spawn in a few other places, like in the maze in the Sulfur Fields. Then you have to destroy 500 objects. I don't know if this counts tikis, even though they're shown in the picture, because there's a separate trophy for tikis. So I'm not sure if tikis actually count toward this one. So basically just break everything you come across and you should get this one by the time you finish the game. Bubbling 100 enemies is not likely to come naturally because bubbling honestly isn't really all that useful of an ability, despite it being sort of a major ability that exists within the game. It's not all that useful, but just bubble any 100 enemies and you'll get this one no problem. I mean, you can farm it anywhere. Karate kick 100 enemies, this one's pretty much unmissable, just that's the triangle attack. You'll probably get this one pretty early in the game. The 50 buttons will come naturally while going for the 100% completion in each level. The 1,000 tikis should come naturally while going for the 100% completion in each level, as long as you just blow up any tikis you come across. The Reef Blower one, this one may not come naturally. This one you may have to farm a little bit, but it's very easily farmed during the Glovey Glove boss fight at the end of the game if you don't get it naturally. Then the 1,000 meter glide, this one is basically unmissable. You should get this one pretty early on during your playthrough. This one can be one of the first trophies that you get in the game. Just find any bounce pad and stand on it, and so you jump on it 10 times in a row. The secret in every level is the golden spatulas. There's one in each of the 8 worlds. Some of them are, actually most of them are pretty easy to find if you're just exploring a little bit. A couple of them are tougher, mainly like the one in Glove World is actually very well hidden. It's behind a painting in the Tunnel of Glove. The 25 NPCs just, hit anything you come across in Bikini Bottom. You can hit the same NPCs 25 times, it's fine. This is done in Pirate Goo Lagoon. There's several places where you can get it. This one is also in Pirate Goo Lagoon. It's real near that gigantic tree on that central island midway through the level, or actually fairly early on in the level. It's on like a hidden path in there. Then unlocking all the costumes requires you to find all of the gold coins in every level, and then purchase the costumes, but it'll cost you, I don't think it'll even cost you 10,000 to purchase all of them, the jellies. So this trophy is fairly easy, just you have to find all the coins. Most of the coins are pretty easy to find, but you will basically need 2 playthroughs of the game to find all the coins, because a lot of them are locked behind abilities that you don't get until later in the game, such as the Reef Blower. So you will pretty much be playing through each world of the game twice. And then finally with this trophy, this one will not unlock until you've finished all of the side quests in the game, which is heavily related to getting all the coins. So basically, once you've collected all the coins and beaten all the levels, you will get this trophy. Also for the costumes, 2 of the costumes are secret costumes. There's one in Halloween Rock Bottom is the first one. You have to find 3 people wearing Flying Dutchman costumes. And the other one is unlocked by getting all of the coins in Glove World. So there are 2 secret costumes to look out for. I was really hoping the costumes would do more in the game, like maybe they would be more like the ones in Revenge of the Flying Dutchman where they actually changed your abilities. But they're really 100% cosmetic in this game. They don't actually do anything except for technically the Reef Blower, but that's not even a costume, it's a power-up that you can pick up. So I was a little bit disappointed about that. Overall, I really enjoyed the game, but I do think they could have expanded more on the whole costume aspect. Plus, the game is still a pretty short game, but it's also not a full-price game. It's also like a $40 game, so it's not a full $60 or $70. So at least that's good. Next up, we have Terminator Resistance Enhanced Edition. Very close to getting the Platinum Trophy. I almost got it over the weekend. I just missed out on it by a little bit. So I think I had already earned Let's see. No, this is about where we can start at. So we have to destroy a T-800 with a flamethrower on it by shooting the fuel tank. That's pretty easy. You can do this on any level where you find a T-800 with a flamethrower on it. Hacking is going to probably come naturally if you're just doing a little bit of extra content in the game. Upgrading your weapon is pretty much unmissable. You're going to get the ability to upgrade early on in the story, so you just have to upgrade any one weapon with those little computer chip things. You just have to make a circuit with them. This trophy is... One guide says this trophy is missable. Another guide says it's not missable. So I don't know exactly which answer is correct. But this is done after you complete the Radio for Ryan side quest. It'll spawn the radio inside of the main base. And then a little bit later on in the game, you can activate the radio and turn up the volume, and it'll annoy Alvin. He'll come and shut it off. You actually need to do this to complete one of the side quests to get one of the items for it. Taking a good photo of an enemy is pretty much unmissable because you get the camera as part of the story, and you're supposed to take photos of certain things in missions. Completing a side objective... Oh, I already had that trophy. Let's see. Unlock the unlockable door in Pasadena. This trophy is highly missable. It is a hard lock, so you need to fully upgrade your lockpicking ability before you go to the Back to Pasadena chapter. So just focus on upgrading your lockpick early on in the game, and you shouldn't have too many problems with this. The door is sort of in like an upper area. It's sort of in a kind of more obscure area. You don't really go to it for any of the objectives from what I remember. But as long as you know that this trophy's here and know to upgrade your lockpick, you shouldn't have any problem. Kill a Terminator using a termination knife. This trophy is pretty easy. You're going to start getting termination knives like maybe a third of the way through the story. The termination knives are instant kills on Terminators, so very useful. The Skynet Outpost, there are several of them throughout the game. You only need to destroy any one of them, but I would recommend destroying a few extras just so you get the XP for it. The T-47 that occupies Pasadena, this thing is pretty tough to kill. It can take a lot of hits. I recommend trying to take over and hack the turrets at the Skynet Outpost right next to him, and that should help you do a little bit of extra damage to it. 5 side missions, that's pretty simple. There's a lot of really easy ones. They're usually sort of along the same path as the main objectives. The 10 notes, there are like 30 of them, and most of them you'll come across plenty of them naturally. And then we have a bunch of story-related trophies here. I still have to just finish the game, which I've got like 1 or 2 levels left of the game. And then there's the 2 Infiltrator mode trophies. I know nothing about this mode, so this is going to be all new to me when we get to this next time I stream the game. I don't know what the next time I'll stream the game is. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. And then, of course, there's the whole Annihilation Line DLC, which, again, I know nothing about, but it looks like there might be one missable trophy in it right here. So, let's see. 8.5, 8.3, 6.7... so either this one could be later, or it could potentially be like an optional side objective that's missable. Then this one that's presumably a story trophy, so this one might be separate. This one looks like it could technically be missable, and then these 2 look like story as well, so mostly story related. I'm not too worried about that. I'm actually excited to play it. I hope it's going to be good because it costs like $15, so I hope it's good for that price. And then finally we have PowerWashing Simulator. I have been working my way through this game, so I have now owned all 6 cleaning liquids at the same time. They are very useful for cleaning off like graffiti and such from certain areas. This one is just for, both of these trophies are just for owning certain types of nozzles as well as all of their attachments. So that's nothing too difficult. You can just purchase it over time as you make money. These next 2 are the same thing. I haven't wasted any money on outfits, gloves, or modifications. I want to get everything else done first. Get all the like upgrades for all of the different power washers first. So this one, I thought I did, but maybe the way I tried to restart it didn't work. But thankfully, this is the very first job in the game, and with that, one of the easiest. So if I save that one for last, that might end up being what I choose to do. So completing the 12 stepping stones in the backyard is pretty easy. Then the playground, rolling the football up the Stega slide is actually a lot more difficult than it should have been. It's just kind of tough to get the ball like onto the ledge and then onto the actual bottom of the slide. And then you sort of have to follow it up the slide while continuously spraying it. It's a little bit tricky to get. This one's pretty easy. Just wait and do the gutters last on the bungalow. On the detached house, just make sure you do the pathway, driveway, and the edges of the driveway first. That's pretty easy. This is how a lot of the trophies are. The sole of the shoe house is pretty much the entire, like, very bottom of it, but there's plenty of parts of it, so you won't, like, accidentally clean it, most likely. The fire station, this one, the scaffolding, I don't know how important the scaffolding actually is going to be for this, because I guess maybe for the fire tower it might be useful, but I assume that it's just going to be kind of annoying trying to clean a lot of it, probably with the red nozzle to get to the higher up areas. The skate park, this one's pretty easy. Just push the ball out of the bowl. This one, just spray it from pretty close up with the red nozzle. You can get it out pretty easily. So then most of these I haven't done yet. These are all later jobs. And then I did also earn some stars. So earning stars, you get 5 stars for completing any job to 100%. So just complete all 30 jobs in the game to 100% in career mode, and you will get all those trophies. I'll skip this one for the moment. Okay, nothing else I've done yet. So this trophy seems like it's going to be one of the hardest ones in the game normally, because you have to basically clean overall 95% of any job without actually finishing any part of it. So, like, you have an overall percentage on the job for cleaning it, and then you have individual percentages for each individual part, like each individual stone, each individual rail, each individual window, etc. So you have to not 100% complete anything on the job until you've reached the 95% overall. I did this on the skate park. I don't know if it's the easiest one to do it on. There might be other ones that are easier. But I did it on the skate park. It wasn't too difficult. It's just really, really tedious getting up to that high percentage. So that's really about it for PowerWash Simulator for now. Of course, the game is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm slowly making progress on it. It's one that's going to take a little while to get through. I will eventually do the PS5 version, but I'm doing the PS4 version first just in case there's any sort of auto pop that ever comes up. So, with that, level 817, 78%, 25,256 total trophies, 694 platinums, 4,524 golds, 6,669 silvers, 13,369 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week. Over the next week, I will definitely continue to play some PowerWash Simulator. But along with that, we've got Fallout 76's Fosnog Day event, which I already discussed earlier on, so I'll probably play that on Tuesday and maybe a little bit more later on in the week. Maybe even stream the game again, I don't know yet, but we will have to decide on that. So right now, the main focus for the rest of February is Terminator Resistance and slowly working on PowerWash Simulator. GTA 5, it's going to depend because we weren't able to play it this weekend, so we're at least going to give it one good solid try this coming weekend and see if we can knock it out in our group, or if I'm maybe going to need to find like people that are really just god tier level at the game or something to carry me through it. I will have to see about all of that. It's just more of the time sink of it than anything else, and just the tediousness of it. But along with all of that, me, Ghost, and Killer are going to be starting up Dead Island Riptide on the PS4 this week on Wednesday, because it has several online co-op trophies. So we're actually going to be starting that up midway through this week. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We should be able to knock it out in just 2 to 3 sessions, but because of that, there's a chance I might not stream on Friday. We'll see how far we can get through the game the other days of the week. If I don't get to stream Friday, I don't get to stream Friday. Hopefully I will, but, I mean, we got to knock this out first. It's online trophies. We always want to get online stuff knocked out as quickly as possible. So yeah, that's the current plan for this week is, Dead Island Riptide, Terminator, maybe some GTA, and of course power washing whenever I have a little bit of free time. And then Fallout 76 over the next week or so whenever I have free time as well. Just going to have to prioritize different things throughout the week. For March, Outer Worlds and The Division 2. April and beyond, COD Classic, Shadow of the Colossus, the other old games, the Horizon Forbidden West DLC comes out in April, so I'll of course be doing that when it comes out. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. Please like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell if you haven't already. There should be plenty of videos still to go up this week. I know that there will be another episode of Fallout 3 ready to go this week. But otherwise, I don't necessarily know what streaming is going to be looking like because I'm going to be very busy with Dead Island Riptide several days this week and maybe with some Fallout 76 and GTA 5 on the weekend. So it's probably going to be a pretty busy week. I don't know what the streaming is going to look like, but the videos, there should at least be videos most days this week. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later this week for some more content.